That night, under a moonless sky in the sleepy village of Umuahia, the Harmattan wind howled like a grieving widow, carrying whispers of forgotten souls through the dusty paths. Wind blowing fiercely, Chike, a young farmer with calloused hands and a heart heavy from loss, stumbled home from the palm wine tapper's hut, his lantern flickering like a dying star. The air was thick with the scent of dry earth and distant wood smoke, but something else lingered, a faint, sweet perfume that didn't belong. Then he saw her, a girl standing at the edge of the riverbank, her long white gown flowing like mist over water, untouched by the wind. Her eyes gleamed in the darkness, pulling him closer, as if she held the secrets to his unspoken pains. Little did he know, this encounter would unravel the threads of trust he held dear. Before we continue, please subscribe to Nigerian Storytelling Time and turn on the notification bell for more unforgettable stories like this one. Chike paused, his heart pounding like the village drums during the New Yam Festival. Village drums echoing faintly. He was no stranger to the tales spun by elders around the fire, stories of spirits that wandered the night, disguised as beautiful maidens in flowing gowns, luring men to their doom. But times were modern now. The city lights of Abuja had reached even their remote corner of Abi Estate, and Chike prided himself on being a man of reason. He worked the cassava fields by day, sent money to his widowed mother in the village, and dreamed of marrying a good woman who could share his burdens. His father had died young, leaving him to shoulder the family alone, and the weight of it all made him wary of fantasies. "Excuse me, Ane," he called out softly, using the Igbo term for sister, his voice trembling despite himself. "Are you lost? It's not safe out here at this hour." The girl turned slowly, her gown rippling like the Niger River's waves. She was stunning, skin like polished ebony, hair braided in intricate patterns adorned with cowrie shells that clicked softly as she moved. Cowrie shells clicking. Her name, she said, was Adaora, and she smiled with lips that promised warmth in the cold night. "I'm not lost, brother," she replied in a voice like honeyed palm wine. "I'm waiting for someone like you." Chike felt a pull in his chest, a mix of fear and longing. He offered to walk her home, and as they strolled along the path lined with mango trees, she spoke of her life. She claimed to be from a neighboring village, Eziowel, where her family traded kola nuts and fabrics at the market. But there was something off. Her gown was too pristine for the dusty roads, and she avoided questions about her kin with graceful deflections. Still, her laughter was infectious, echoing through the night like the call of a nightjar bird. By the time they reached the village square, where the ancient Iroko tree stood sentinel, Chike was smitten. He bid her good night, watching as she vanished into the shadows, her long gown trailing like a ghost's veil. The next morning, the village buzzed with life. Roosters crowing, women pounding yam. Chike rose early to tend his farm, but his mind wandered to Adaora. He confided in his best friend, Obinna, a jovial trader who sold Gary at the local market. "Brother, I met a girl last night," Chike said, as they shared a meal of akara and pap under the shade of a baobab tree. "She's beautiful, but something about her long gown. It reminds me of those old stories Mama used to tell." Obinna chuckled, his belly shaking. "Ah, Chike, you're thinking of the Mami Wata legends. Those water spirits who seduce men with their beauty and drag them to the depths. Come on, man. This is 2025. We have smartphones and Nollywood films debunking such nonsense. If she's fine, go for her. Life is too short for superstitions." Encouraged, Chike sought her out that evening. He found Adaora at the same riverbank, her gown glowing faintly in the twilight. They talked for hours about the hardships of village life, the dreams of escaping to Lagos for better opportunities, and the pains of lost loved ones. Adaora shared that she had lost her parents in a tragic accident on the Onitsha-Enugu Expressway, and her eyes welled with tears that mirrored Chike's own grief for his father, soft sobbing. He felt a connection deepen, like roots intertwining in fertile soil. She taught him a traditional Igbo song, her voice rising and falling like the rhythm of the Ojin gong, and he joined in, his baritone blending with her melody. Days turned into weeks, and their meetings became ritual. The village noticed. Whispers spread like wildfire during the dry season. Elder Nwankwo, the wise dibia with beads around his neck and a staff carved from sacred wood, pulled Chike aside one afternoon at the communal borehole. "My son," he warned, his voice gravelly from years of chanting incantations. "Beware the girl in the long gown. Our ancestors speak of such beings, Ogbanja spirits, reborn to torment the living. They appear pure, but their hearts are storms." Chike brushed it off, attributing it to old age paranoia. But doubts crept in. Strange things began happening, eerie silence broken by distant thunder. One night, as they sat by the fire, Adaora's gown seemed to shimmer unnaturally, as if made of water rather than cloth. When he reached for her hand, it felt cold, like the river's embrace after a storm. Villagers reported seeing a shadowy figure in a long gown near the sacred grove, where offerings to the gods were left, fruits and kola nuts vanishing without trace. Chike's crops, once thriving, began to wither, leaves curling as if cursed. Emotion welled up in him during their next encounter. "Adaora, tell me the truth," he pleaded under the stars, the cricket chirps amplifying the tension. Crickets chirping intensely. "Who are you really? Why do you always wear that gown? It hides you like a secret." She looked away, her eyes reflecting the firelight. "Chike, some secrets protect us. Trust me, as I trust you." Her words were laced with sorrow, and she leaned in, their lips meeting in a kiss that tasted of salt and mystery. It was passionate, emotional, pulling at his soul like the tide. But as he held her, he felt no heartbeat against his chest, only a hollow rhythm, like waves crashing on shore. The village tension built. Obina grew concerned, noticing Chike's pallor and distracted gaze. "You're changing, my friend," he said one market day, amid the haggling over yams and peppers. "That girl, she's not right. Remember the story of the maiden who lured the hunter into the forest? He never returned." Chike's mother, Mama Ngozi, confronted him too. In their mud brick home adorned with woven mats and clay pots, she sat him down with a bowl of egusi soup, spoon clinking against bowl. "My son, I see the way you look at her, but listen to your mother's heart. Long gowns in our culture can mean many things: modesty, mourning, or masquerade. The gods warn us through dreams. Last night, I dreamed of you drowning in a river of white fabric." Torn between love and fear, Chike decided to test her. He invited Adaora to the village festival, the annual masquerade, where Egungun dancers in colorful costumes honored the ancestors. Drums beating rhythmically, flutes whistling. The air was alive with ululations and the scent of roasted goat. Adaora arrived in her eternal long gown, drawing stares. As the night progressed, Chike led her to the dance circle, where couples swayed to the beat of the udu drum. But when he tried to spin her, her gown caught on a root, tearing slightly. What he glimpsed beneath sent chills down his spine. A glimpse of scales, iridescent like a fish's tail, vanishing as quickly as it appeared. Panic set in, but love blinded him. It was nothing, he told himself, pushing the image away. Their bond deepened. Adaora confessed her loneliness, how she wandered villages seeking a soul to connect with. Chike shared his fears of failure, of never escaping the cycle of poverty. Tears flowed freely, tears falling softly, binding them in emotional vulnerability. Yet, the omens escalated. One stormy evening, as thunder roared like angry gods, Chike followed Adaora after their meeting. Thunder rumbling, rain pattering. She headed not to Esiowele, but deeper into the forest, towards the forbidden part of the river where fishermen feared to tread. Hiding behind a cluster of palm fronds, he watched in horror as she approached the water's edge. Her gown dissolved into mist, revealing not legs, but a serpentine tail that slithered into the depths. She was Mami Wata, a water spirit, embodiment of beauty and peril, luring men with promises of wealth and love, only to claim their souls. Heart-shattering, Chike confronted her the next night. "Why Adaora? Why me?" he cried, the river roaring behind them. River rushing loudly. Was it all a lie? She turned, her eyes now glowing with an otherworldly light. "No, Chike, it was real, but I am bound to the water. I came to you because your pain called to me, like a siren song in reverse. I wanted to save you from your loneliness, but spirits like me, we cannot stay." The twist hit like a thunderbolt. Adaora revealed she wasn't there to harm him, but to heal. Years ago, Chiki's father hadn't died in a farming accident as told. He had been seduced by a mamiwata, drowning in pursuit of forbidden love. Adaora was his half-sister, born of that union, a hybrid spirit sent by their shared mother, the river goddess herself, to protect Chike from the same fate. The withering crops, a warning to drive him away from danger. The cold touch, her ethereal nature. She had worn the long gown to hide her true form, not to deceive, but to connect as a human. Tears streamed down Chika's face as memories flooded back. His father's unexplained absences, the river trinkets found in his pockets. Then why now? He whispered. Because danger approaches, she said. A rival spirit seeks to claim you, jealous of your pure heart. I came to shield you, brother. In a surge of emotion, Chike embraced her, feeling the scales beneath the gown. Emotional embrace, waves lapping. But as the truth sank in, Adaora began to fade, her form dissolving into mist. Live well, Chike. Trust not appearances, but the heart's whisper. With that, she vanished into the river, leaving only ripples and a single cowrie shell in his hand. Sometimes, the beings we fear the most are the guardians sent to save us from ourselves. Trust is a fragile kola nut, beautiful on the outside, but its bitterness reveals only when broken. In our Nigerian lands, where spirits walk among us, remember, not every long gown hides evil. Some conceal love too deep for the mortal world, and that's how this story ends. If you loved it, please like, comment, and subscribe to Nigerian Storytelling Time. More powerful stories are coming soon.